In this video, I want to talk about ways to complete the stress cycle. Completing the stress cycle is a key component to helping us recover from trauma and prevent burnout. In Drs. Amelia and Emily Nagoski's book, Burnout, they talk about some key ways to help our stress cycle complete. Our stress cycle is partly what's called the HPA axis, which is this hamster wheel of stress that keeps on spinning, that's increasing our adrenaline and cortisol levels, and we have to find a way to put a stick in that spoke of the wheel in order to help that stress cycle complete and pause. And so there's a few important ways that we can look at to do this. And so one of the most effective ways to complete the stress cycle is through physical activity. That can be a vigorous walk, going up the stairs a couple times, going on a run, dancing, shaking it out, pushing against a wall, pushing against a tree, punching a punching bag, punching pillows or a couch. So finding some kind of physical way to move that stress out of the body. This is a bottom-up approach. We can't just tell ourselves, okay, we don't need to be stressed out anymore. It's time to calm down. That top-down approach does not work for burnout and trauma recovery. We need something that's bottom-up, which means we need something that's somatic or physical with the body. So physical activity is the most effective and efficient way to help our stress cycle complete. They say that because we navigate stress every single day, we need to do something to help the stress cycle complete every single day. So science shows that doing something for 30 minutes or more every day is really helpful to help that stress cycle complete, so that the stress of living in this world doesn't wear down all the systems in our body and have significant health impacts, which we know stress can do. Outside of physical activity, we can also do things that are creative. So creative expression is a great way to help the stress cycle complete. Creating a piece of art or movement or journaling or drawing, or some kind of way to move feelings and emotions and experiences through our body through an expressive way creatively. Other ways to complete the stress cycle include laughter. So whether we are laughing in the moment or we're reminiscing about a time that we laughed so hard that our stomach hurt. So using laughter is a helpful way. On the other end of that spectrum, crying. So letting ourselves have a good cry. When we're having a good cry, the key piece is to not continue to add fuel to the fire and think about all the other things that we could be upset about. But once we let that emotion start to move through, we just start to track the sensations, the shuddering of our breath, the heat in our body, the tears in our eyes. We let that crying express, and we let that stress cycle complete. Another one is social interactions. So we can have these micro moments throughout our day, compliment the cashier's earrings, mention how the weather is outside, say hello to the person in the hallway or walking down the sidewalk rather than looking down at our phones. For safer relationships, it can look like a 20-second hug or a 6-second kiss or something of that nature that can really send that signal to our brain that we're safe enough in this moment. But those micro moments can really go a long way. Another way that is really helpful to start to think about is breath work. So we know there's a ton of different breath work techniques out there. I have a lot of different breath work videos on this channel, but breath work is at its core long, slow, deep breathing. And so starting to lengthen the exhales, taking long, slow breaths, doing that for a series of practices or series of rounds is a really helpful way to help that stress cycle complete. So this can be one 30-minute chunk of time if you need to break this into 3 10-minute chunks of time. So just thinking about how to start to build these practices. I find it really helpful to do things to bookend the day. So I try to do a 30-minute movement practice of some sort in the morning, and I try to do a 10 or 15-minute practice in the end of the day to unwind. In between therapy clients, I try to do a somatic practice, even if it's just 30 seconds, but something short to do so that I'm moving that stress or energy from one person's session. I'm not bringing that into my next client session. We can also think about habit stacking. So can you think about a habit you already have? I brush my teeth every morning. Can I do a breathwork practice after I do that habit? I'm always going to brew the coffee. Can I do a little somatic practice or breathwork exercise while the coffee's brewing? So thinking about what habits do we already have in our day and how can we stack a new habit onto that? So micro moments help, big practices help even more. Do what we can, start small and slowly build. So each of these pieces make a big difference. A drop in the bucket each day over time can make a big change in the trajectory of our life and the quality of our life. I hope you find this supportive. If you want any more trauma-informed tips, tools, or information about my trainings, feel free to see the link and information below. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss a new video, and I hope you find this helpful.